Put headphones on for.
So I can monitor the sound.
Okay.
Because he's a full-blown professionalist. Okay, episode 4 of The New Dawn. And today is, we are joined by Dave as always,
Morning.
and Rich. And Rich over here, I thought DC was the oldest player in the world. Rich is now second place to Dave. Dave obviously is 965. And Rich, you're what, 53?
Yeah.
53 years old and playing a game like American football. How long have you been playing? How did it start? And why on earth are you playing this game? Or, sorry, not why. How are you playing this game at 53 years old? Should be at home with some slippers and some pipes.
Well, most people have midlife crisis and buy a motorbike, don't they?
Yeah.
I put a helmet on, basically.
When did you start?
When was it? Was it 8 years ago? Something like that. What was I, about 44? About 44?
What made you start at that stage in your life?
Well, I've been in the army for a long time, and the physical fitness from the armed forces never leaves you.
Right.
It's all muscle memory, so you've got everything. And I was working for Tango at the time on the door, and basically got bullied into it.
Bullied into it.
I've never been bullied, but Tango bullied me into it. He just constantly pestered me for months, it felt like, to turn up to a night's practice and see whether I'd enjoy it, because I played football all my life. But
Soccer.
Yeah. I played quite a high standard when I was in the army. And Tango eventually persuaded me to come and watch the Super Bowl one year. And I sat there with all this lot and watched the Super Bowl and thought, yeah, why not? I'll give it a shot. Went to practice the next day, or the next week, and then fell in love with it overnight. And
It's the same story you hear so regularly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Tried it, fell in love with it.
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed team sports, so football and stuff like that. I'd always been into it. And then when I stopped playing English football, because I was too old, I mean, I think it was like 35 or something when I stopped playing football.
You're still very young. 35 is
but not,
prime of your life.
Not playing semi-pro in this country, 35 is really old for soccer. So, and I missed it. And when I left the army, you miss all that camaraderie and you need to get that back somehow. So working the door for Tango was one thing, and you've got all your mates around you and the doors with you and everybody knows everybody else, and that's one thing. But then to meet up with them all on a Sunday and be on a football field with a helmet and pads knocking the shit out of each other, it was great. So I went and I enjoyed it that much that I went back the week after, and I don't think I've missed a practice session since.
Fair play.
At all. Not a practice session, not a game, nothing. And I always remember my first season. Tango persuaded me to play. He taught me a lot. He taught me how to gym properly.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't doing that properly at all. I was doing little bits. But then working for him and being told, meet me at my house at a certain time, and we're going to go through, and Dave's there, and Lexi was there, and he taught me how to lift properly. And I've since then built my own gym.
Oh, wow.
Next to my own house, so I've now got all my own stuff, so I don't have to travel. And yeah, it's just one of them things where you can't not be involved. You get to know the game, you understand the game. You've played it for that long with the same people that it's everything. It's my religion. Sunday is for football. It's nothing else.
Hear that so much, don't you? When people, from a sporting background, come and try this game, and then you hear the same thing every week. It's, I fell in love with it as soon as I tried it, and it is, for this country, it is just Sundays, and that is dedicated to football, because people fall in love with it so much.
But it's not just Sundays, is it?
It's
a life-changing
thing,
because it changed the way I was in myself during the week, because now I was in the gym with Tango and DC every day. I now use my own gym every day. I only ever take Saturdays off the gym, because I'm going to be practicing or playing on a Sunday. And that's even in the off season. I don't stop. I don't have a break.
So you gear yourself around football.
Everything I do now is geared around playing football, and the fitness that I gained in the army and playing soccer stays with you. And then I've been really lucky with injuries. I've never ever really broken or torn anything serious.
Yeah, touch wood.
Touch wood. So I've been really lucky with injuries. My knees are still good. I'm strong in the legs, and the upper body's now a lot stronger. And I will play until I can't play anymore. And I said this to you when I came back, that I intend to play until I can't play.
And that I get that 100%. Like, obviously, I retired through injury, and I miss it so much. And we've had that conversation so many times about you talking about retiring. Like,
well, he's not allowed to now.
He's almost 1,000 years old.
But the thing is, I mean, we're just, you and me are blessed that the game hasn't retired us. Injury hasn't retired.
And it will only be injury that stops me from playing. If I can't physically do the job and I can't play, then I'll stop playing.
Yeah, I mean, once upon a time, you sort of think that you sort of retire in a blaze of glory, winning a championship, and you can hang your boots up, but that ship sailed.
And now I'm older than him. Well, I've always been older.
You've always been older than me, yeah.
Yeah, and he can't retire before me, see, so it's sort of it has a knock-on effect.
So, I guess you hear a lot of people say, I'm too old for this, I'm too old for that, I can't do that at my age. Is there anything, like, do you find your age has restricted you or changed what you need to do, or do you have to adapt in certain ways because of you are so old?
Absolutely. Not so old,
so
just older.
Older.
There are yes, yeah.
If you were playing rugby, you would have a different coloured shorts on.
Yeah.
In the, they do Masters rugby or whatever they call veterans or whatever it's called.
There are things that we both do at our age that we don't do, should we say? That we both,
selective running.
Selective running.
Selective running.
Yeah. Some of the drills we can't give 100% to running over bags and
well, we could.
But we wouldn't be able to practice afterwards. That's it. That's the end of it. We've only got so much fuel in the engine. You know what I mean?
There's only so much run that you get on a Sunday.
The other thing with it is injuries take longer to heal. So any slight knock. I mean, I got a dead leg last week, and it's only just worn off now. Whereas 20 years ago it would have lasted a couple of hours.
So are you doing anything, like consciously doing anything, or changed the way that you treat injuries?
Yes.
Are you more conscious of getting help, like going to see a doctor or physios or
absolutely.
Ice baths or things like that?
As you get older, you get wiser, don't you? And when you're a kid, you've been hurt, you need to see a doctor or a physio, but you don't go because you've got better things to do.
Yeah.
When you get to our age, it's if I don't go and see a physio or a doctor or something, then I'm not going to be practicing next week. And that, for me, is vital. I mean, I hurt my back the other week, as you know.
Yeah.
And I spent the whole week with ice and heat. I even went to an osteopath. I had needles in my back and all this manipulative massage and all this to get it right so I could play the next following week. You've got to adapt to your own body. You need to know what your own body's capable of and what your own limitations are. And as long as your coaches around you understand that if you stop, it's because you know you've got to stop, otherwise there's a problem, then you're going to be all right. You can only push yourself so far until you put your lid on the field with a scrimmage or a game, and then you just give everything because Monday morning it don't matter. You know what I mean? Everything's left on the field because it has to be.
So you talked about the camaraderie of the team and all that sort of thing. Have you noticed anything's changed within that team environment, being the older guard, if you like? Are you looked at differently? Do you treat yourself differently? Do you feel a sense that you have to become a leader and give advice like a big brother type figure, or
no?
You just see yourself as one of the lads?
I'm just one of the lads. I don't want to coach. I don't want to lead. I know I have natural leadership abilities, and I shall use those later on in life when I go to coaching. But at the minute I'm just happy to be one of the lads. If I know what I'm talking about on a certain thing, see, I'm very new to offence. I've only played one season offence with the Olympians, so I'm not entirely sure. It's different schemes, so I don't want to sort of put myself forward as saying, right, this is what we do, this is what we, because there's other players on that line that know more about it than I do. So I'm not going to step in like that. Defence, I played defence for the Knights for a long time, a season of defence for the Olympians, and I know a lot more about how to coach defensive line players than I would know about coaching offensive line players. Does that make sense? So I wouldn't put myself forward on the offence with the Knights to try and say this is how we do it. I'd rather learn and ask questions. You know what I mean? As for things changing, this team over the years has changed massively, in my opinion. When I left, 2 seasons ago, through a change of personnel at coaching levels, a very close friend of mine left for whatever reason, and ended up at the Olympians, which was not ideal for me because it was such a distance to travel. But he was there, and in all honesty, we all know who we're talking about, and I'm sure he knows who we're talking about as well.
We do.
He didn't try and persuade me to leave the Knights. He actively encouraged me to stay, which I did for that season that he'd gone. And it was only after a lot of the players on defence had all left, and there's a fair few of them went to the Olympians as it happens, that I decided I'm going to go. I'm going to go and see what it's like somewhere else. I'll go and have a holiday. I spent 2 years with the O's, which time it's a great experience playing with another team. You've done it with the Warriors.
Yeah.
I've done it with the Olympians.
We loaned ourselves out for a couple of seasons.
Yeah, and it's a great experience. I mean, I've made a lot of very good friends up there.
Absolutely.
And there's some great guys at the O's. A lot of which have gone to the Blitz, I'm sad to say. But it is what it is. They've got their own problems. They'll deal with it. I'm sure they will. But the thing for me was to come home. The distance. It took me 5 minutes to get here this morning with a coffee.
Which you left in your car.
Which I left in my car, and it went cold. What an idiot. So anyway, you come back and it's a completely different team. I keep asking Coach Too Tall and yourself, what's his name? Who's this?
Oh, we don't know.
Who's that? And I don't know their names. I've played against them for 2 seasons, but I don't actually know their names. When they set the helmets off, I don't recognise them. So it's hard. There are still a lot of lads here that have been here for a lot of the time I was here, like Matt Niven and people like that have just about managed to get through his rookie season uninjured for the first time ever. He'll thank me for saying that, by the way. You know Matt? Good lad. No, but he's had a hard time, but he's still here. And there's yourself, there's Tom, there's a few others that are still here, and it's great to have those people around that you know, and all the kids that are coming through, the rookies and the first years, and the ones that have had one season thrown in at a deep end in the Prem. They've got to learn, and that's the hardest way to learn. Now they might be able to learn and learn well. Put it into practice what they've learned, because they can't put it into practice against teams that are going to stop them from doing it. So,
well, we've talked about that quite a lot, really, and it's, you know, playing in the Premiership South, it's the best standard of football in this country by quite a way, and you know, for a first or second or even third or fourth year player to be going against the best in the country week in, week out, just never get a chance to really focus on learning. Do you know what I mean?
Baptism of fire.
Yeah.
But cool. I mean, touching on what you said, it's the one constant thing that all my years at the Knights has never changed, and it's the way a rookie walks in and pretty much immediately is accepted into the family.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that never ceases to amaze me, that it's no one guy doing it. It's no, you know, it's not even one set of guys. It is just the essence of what is a Knight. And it's being sort of transferred through each group of players that sort of just like meander through life. It's a strange thing, and it took me years to work it out. And it's not one person, it's not one thing. It is just a
group of like-minded people.
Yeah,
it's an entity.
Yeah,
we've seen it this morning
thing.
outside with the youth and junior teams. And there's some 15-year-old kids out there that are looking really special. And they've got some 17-year-olds, 16, 17, 18-year-olds out there right now who could play in a senior team.
They could.
And they're only a couple of months away from being old enough. Some of them are old enough now.
But they're bigger than you and me.
Yeah, they are.
It's not hard though. I mean, Samwise Gamgee and Mr. Frodo here. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's 4 or 5-year-olds taller than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but those kids out there are coming through, and it's
exciting.
A lot of teams don't have that sort of thing, and that's a major thing, because if we stop playing, then they gain our experience. And we get them to play the way that we played in this team.
Well, it was a massive priority of ours, wasn't it?
Yeah,
to build that youth and junior program back up to something special, and it's happening right in front of us. Every week we're getting new players down.
Well, I'm just waiting for it to kick off at school, because there's going to be kids out there that go to this school. And when the word gets out,
is the thing right now.
Yeah. When the word gets out,
not one of these kids that are here practicing right now actually are students of this school.
Oh, they're not?
No,
not one of them.
Not one.
That's what we want then. We want one.
That's all we need.
One from Cove School. Start practice. Tell his friends, and they'll all be down.
Absolutely.
And it'll kick off massively. The PE department here will have to start putting lessons on at school time.
Well, that's the plan.
So we are in touch with
So
it's the deputy head here that has sort of allowed this to happen, and the PE department. I think the head of PE's been away for the last week or so, but yeah, we have got communications open, and working on.
I think the flyers and stuff have been started to be passed out around the school.
Literally, it's just ready to go.
It's waiting to just explode.
Exactly that. So exciting times ahead, no question.
So speaking about times ahead, I mean, you touched on it. You're going to play until you can't play no more.
Yeah.
Another
10 years.
How long do you think? Honestly, do you think you're capable of playing? You're 53, bruv. Like
I train twice as hard in the gym because I have to maintain the same standard as the kids. If I don't train twice as hard, I'm going to lag behind kids that don't even train. So until I get injured, and I'm fingers crossed that's not going to happen, I will keep going. I'll keep playing. And
hopefully one of these kids coming through will retire you.
Hopefully.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Hopefully.
Is a kid.
Well, that was my next question to you: is how long do you think you've got left?
So every
year, keep retiring every season.
Yeah, every year I hope it was. It's time that next kid's come along and is going to take my spot, and I will see more of the bench than I do the field. And I guess that's how it has to happen. There will be a day that I am not one of the best 11, because that's how it has to be, right? You have to put your best 11 on the field.
Yeah.
Once get the game done, get the game won, and then you get
rotation in.
That's it. And you rotate in your
rookies.
And younger kids, not your old men. And that's how it's going to be. Is at some point I won't be one of the chosen 11, and I'm good with that. Any day.
I'm not.
Well, so
I don't want to retire.
I'm not saying I want it. I'm just like I'm ready. I'm ready for the day that sits me down. Because you owe me that. You cannot play me over.
How are you pulling me into this?
Well, because it's kind of your shout, really. So.
Well, as you said, I play the best 11 that I've got.
Exactly.
And we've tried. We talked about. Dude, I even played you at slot receiver last season.
I know, and This is your way of coaching the coaches, right?
Well, they're not going to throw it to him, are they? Well, actually, I was. Yeah. I was going to throw it to him.
But see, that's the difference between me and you. You're happy to be retired because you played 28 years or something.
Yeah, this is season 28 for me.
So you're happy to be sat on the bench. I'm not. If I'm going to go on a bench, he's going to have to force me on the bench. But there's going to have to be somebody coming in that can take my spot legitimately. And if he's good enough,
I'm the same.
Better than me, I would gladly sit down for him.
Yep.
But he's going to have to prove it in practice.
Yeah.
And I'll push him every inch of his life. If he wants my spot, he's going to have to fight for it.
Yep. He's going to have to come take it.
Yeah,
exactly that. And
once
I'm
he's
the
taken
same.
it,
yep.
Then I'm happy to sit down and start coaching.
I'll push him to make sure he keeps it.
Yeah.
You know, because the second he relaxes, he'll find himself back on the bench, and you're my old ass.
But I won't be happy about it because I don't want to stop playing.
If I put the kit on, I'm playing at some point.
But for me, like having you around, and specifically you in this situation, is you can play centre, left or right guard. I'm not going to say you can play tackle because you're terrible at it.
You started me at tackle for 2 games last year.
I had to.
So,
but you can also play fullback. You can also play other positions on the field, and having that sort of experience and having that backup at my disposal is priceless to me. Do you know what I mean? Because I can slot you in as and when needed, where you're needed, and I don't have to worry about you getting all upset because you're sat on the bench at the start of the game. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely, and that is, I guess, how I see my role transitioning. You know, I'm in no hurry to start coaching.
Super backup.
Even if it's just to push the starter, you know, and you know what it's like. Life gets in the way of many things, and you haven't always got your first choice available that day. No. And being able to slot me in is probably better than playing the rookie.
Yeah.
And you know, it doesn't put pressure on the backups.
So you said slot 4 times in that one sentence, then are you fishing to play slot again? Look, or should we? The official term for DC at slot is fat slot.
So.
Slot right.
It was actually fat slot left.
It was. Yeah.
And it was a run play, and then I was actually going to throw him the ball.
so if I'm lined up at slot and you're considering throwing me the ball,
well, you got double teamed.
I know.
You
scary, right?
You got double teamed.
So if I'm drawing a crowd, then the team player in me thinks, do you know what? That's great, and hopefully the diversion worked. The dastardly scheme.
Dastardly.
Here's what you're saying about having DC there as backup for all these different positions. It makes me feel better because if I do get hurt, I know he can step straight in and play at centre, which would give me time to recover from what's just happened. And if I can get back on, I will. If I can't that game, I'll be back for the next game. But it makes me not want to play hurt if I know there's somebody who can step straight in.
Well, playing hurt is one of those things where my rule, which was drummed into me, was you play until your backup's better than you. If your backup's better, as in you play hurt, without sounding stupid, depending on what the injury is and depending on what the hurt is, you play, if your backup's better than you, honestly, answer that question honestly, sit down if the backup's better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And with him being a backup, the answer is, I'm hurt, I'm not 100%, I'm going to go sit down, get treated, get looked at, get back to 100%, then I'm back on the field.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
That's exactly
and
right.
it gives us that comfort blanket. Do you know what I mean? You could be called Binky.
I'm a comfort blanket.
You're a comfort blanket.
Of all the things I have been called by you.
Most of which we cannot say on.
Yeah.
Little silky edges, right?
You're Binky.
Oh. So I guess, you know, sort of putting words into Rich's mouth is we are like the dads of the team, and some of this team are younger than my kids.
They're younger than my kids.
You know, and you know, it's great to be a part of. You know, seeing these young men develop into well-rounded football players and well-rounded people. You know.
Okay, so I have a question. Firstly, to you, if you weren't playing football, how would your life be different? If you hadn't made that decision to come along, because you said, you know, you structure your life now around football, like you're in the gym, you know, you're in fairly decent shape for a 75-year-old pensioner. You know, not many pensioners are doing what you're doing.
Hey, you're laughing, but I can retire in 2 years.
Yeah, you get the extra £5 in the winter, right?
Yeah, a flu jab and everything.
But
no, I don't know, because it's never happened. But I would guess that I would be a hell of a lot heavier than what I am now. I mean, in 2 seasons I was 3 stone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that was just eating right, training right, and lose 3
Was that a
stone.
conscious decision to be
happened.
in better shape?
No, it just happened. It wasn't anything I changed. I mean, travelling to London every weekend, midweek as well, and the practice that they did and conditioning they did, plus the stuff I was doing in the gym, and my missus was feeding me right, and we don't have takeaways and all that sort of stuff anymore, we don't touch any of that. And it just fell off. And I went from being 19.5 stone to being 16 stone in 2 years, 2 seasons. And the mobility and the speed that I got back from that was amazing. I put a little bit more weight on now, a little bit back, but not much, only a couple of 3 pounds. But if I wasn't playing football, I wouldn't be in the gym. And if I'm not in the gym, I'm going to football matches every weekend, watching English football.
Drinking more
beer, smoking. It's a lifestyle that I don't know what I'd be like. I could even be dead. I could have had an heart attack. Anything. You don't know.
There you go, people. Football saves lives.
Yeah.
What about you? If you weren't playing football, you can't say that you would get fat because
I'm already fat.
Yeah.
So I've lifted weights.
Not fat, DC. Wide.
Yeah.
Wide.
6 foot cubed.
Yeah.
It's about right.
That's what my dad says. Right?
Almost 6 foot.
The biggest traps I've ever seen in my life on a human being.
So I have lifted weights 5 nights a week since my daughter was born. So that's 25 years.
5 nights a week.
Ish. I aim for 5.
Aim Wednesday's quite
yeah.
Leg day.
Leg day.
But, you know, and that's kind of hard habit to break, right? So I can never ever see me stopping lifting weight. So that's just one of them things. What do you do if you're not playing football? Well, you're helping the football team, right? So that's it's been such a big part of my life that
I wouldn't be helping an American football team out if I'd not started playing. So
that's the difference.
So,
I guess that's the difference between starting later on in life and making it your life. You know what I mean? Because you even played the day after you got married, didn't you?
Yeah.
Nice honeymoon.
Well, we went on the Tuesday, so that was already planned.
Where did you go?
We went to Antigua.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do they play football now?
I'd only been playing like 1 season then, so that was literally my sort of rookie year really, and
What was the anniversary story? The trip to where was it? Bath.
Yeah. I booked a nice weekend away in Bath for our first anniversary. As we were loading the car to get there, bless her, she noticed I put my football kit in the car.
That's a helmet.
Yeah, and she's like, I thought this was a weekend away. It is a weekend away, love. Just I'm happening to play football
on Sunday
against Bath. And she was like, okay, but
oh bless.
Yeah, well, you just got to go with it, haven't you? And
yeah, fair.
Yeah, and I scored a touchdown that day. My first wedding anniversary at guard.
How did you score a touchdown from guard?
I know. So I was blocking my guy, and the running back got hit in the backfield, fumbled the ball, fumbled it forwards into the back of my legs.
And you fell down.
And I turned round and fell down and was awarded the touchdown. There you go, that was my first touchdown.
Takes a lot of skill to score one like that.
Well, do you know what? It got me into a habit because I scored a few since.
Oh.
But yeah, your first one's the hardest, right?
Well, on that note, should we call that a day? Shall we? Anything else you want to add?
Well, just to say that it's great having Rich back.
Oh, absolutely,
and, you know, that sort of experience on the team.
I thought we made that obvious by
I think
putting him on the podcast.
Yeah, I think
We don't put people we don't like on there, do we?
We'll put you on it.
It's my podcast.
Good point.
Oh, it's no need to be that way.
See you next week.
Hang on. Like, subscribe.
Or Lexi will put up more bad pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Great pictures, by the way. Well done, Lex.
And the goofy music. Good job, man.
Just turn it off, dude.